the video too. I
Yeah, I
sent you the
seen it.
link.
I seen it.
All
I
right.
just was trying to get this broadcast up.
Oh, right, right.
Yep, we Gucci. Share more here. Game of Thrones. Team time. Put my two-step in there for one last time. Two-step. Two-step Texans.
Two-step Texans.
Ain't heard that in a while. I ain't heard that in a while. We ain't heard that in a while. We ain't heard that in a while. I gotta go out and go get some more Mickey D's. We ain't heard that in a while. We ain't heard that in a while. We ain't heard that in a while. Let's get everybody activated. Activated. What? What? Activated. Activated. Hey. Hey, hey, hey. Drop your name.
Talk time.
Drop your name when you're coming in the show. And time. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, guys coming in, as y'all coming in, man, coming in to party out, real talk, to finish out our RDL7 and our conversations there. Most of y'all probably coming in like, why is he on 23? What the hell? Yeah. Yeah. We definitely still on 23 for a second. Nice little minute. Just a little plug real fast. It will be a two-part show tonight as we get into our team selection conversations and things like that
Black
for the
Panthers.
24,
Hi.
for the 24,
Low.
for the 24, But before we do that, man, we got to recap one of the, I would say, one of our best leagues, man. Well, first of all, there's no league like RDL, none, 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 none. But RDL7 was kind of special, man. It was special because one, it was a pretty solid long year, and it was some great opportunities to learn. Going forward with RDL, there's always room for improvement anytime you do anything. But we got to see some
I
great
see the growth of some new
storylines.
faces as well,
Yeah.
man. Like seeing some players grow. Like
hmm
seeing some
Guys.
players take a big step. We'll be expecting some of you guys to continue that big step on to the next on the 24, man. So some folks say flowers, talk about a few things.
Man, I love the storylines that we had the entire RDL, like the entire RDL7 with some great storylines. You got to see some do's, some don'ts. You got to see some waves, some trendsetters. You got to see a lot of different things materialize into something special throughout the entire duration of the league. Um,
Bomb.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys that did participate in it feel the same way. Like it was a really good league to close out 23. Honestly, can't wait for Real Draft 8 to show up and show off. But what we're gonna do, man, is gonna be this is not gonna be
Rainy.
uh, a super long conversation of RDL7 Madden 23. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna break it up in a couple of extra shows with this because we want to talk about not only the users and go through each team and we're going to talk about some of our, our likes, our dislikes, our storylines, just through guys and what they did with their teams throughout the entire RDL, right? But we want to talk about some of these players that came out in our draft and and really give them their Hall of Fame credit and who deserves it, who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And then we want to also give the flowers to those guys that, won Super Bowls and, had rivals and really, really went hard. You seen guys improve their game tremendously. You saw guys. I don't think we saw anybody take a step back. If you took a step back, it's because you just wasn't active. That's it. And I
I
don't really
think we
think we had any real non-active guys in the league. Like we had a nice little run before people got inactive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we had a couple people taking a couple of little trips, a couple of owners like trying to get on the boats with the cheerleaders and stuff. But, when it's all said and done, I think everybody was pretty active, man. And we definitely seen some players take some steps in the right direction. And shoot, some players, a couple of players that might have made a name for themselves and tried to put themselves on the map for real. So,
Man,
shoot,
yeah.
sheesh.
I gained a lot of respect for some guys, man. I know anytime you do something that keep us talking about it, you're becoming a problem, and that's a good thing. Not
Uh,
not a bad thing to be a problem, right? Um, but what you learn in 23 don't always translate to 24, right? So it's some things that happen in 23 that we know for a fact that won't be in 24. So how do people adjust? You know what I'm saying? Like how do people adjust to the new game? Some of the things that you was able to do really well in 23 will probably be taken away from you. I'm not talking about schemes and things like that. I'm talking about more like some of the stuff that you were like really good at doing, right? Like, we could
basically,
talk about the
we're gonna
launch
be
pads,
looking for some people to evolve.
right?
Who's
Like,
really evolved their game?
who's going to step up when some of the things that made them successful is taken away
Who can
from them?
show who can show some consistency to show that it just really wasn't a product of 23, Madden
Yeah,
23. You
yeah.
can't step up and ask for your flowers and just be like a one hit wonder and come in here talking the extra talk. Everybody in the league talk that talk, but can you walk that talk? You know what I mean?
I want to see growth, right? You want to continue to see
Yeah.
growth from guys that are top players to guys that are, improving to become, those type of guys. I always said this. I always said those guys that came in the league that really wasn't, really good at the game, like, right? Or just wasn't really good. When you see their growth, you don't see it in our league. You see it, you hear it from them from the leagues that they're playing in outside of our league, right? For whatever reason, it's been like this since, I started running my own leagues, right? It's been like that. Like guys might not be winning in our league, but because of the competition and the things that they go through in our league, it made them better in other leagues, right? And then that's the first step. Because once you start being good or the person that can make a playoffs and do some things in other leagues, it recycles itself. Then it starts to translate
Yellow.
back and then you'll be able to be that guy to start stepping your game up uh, in our league, right? So if you was a guy that literally stayed after from season one to the final season, and you might not have success as far as like getting to the playoffs and things like that, but ask yourself, what did the the fight and the things you went through in our league help you do in other leagues, right? And if you can see something positive there, then no, coming back to 24, you're gonna add to that because you're just going to develop yourself, even better, right? And it's a circle, right? And we saw guys grow. Like I love how Mike game was, right? Like he really was in it all the way up until week 18 every season. Well, like one season, I think one maybe where he wasn't really in contentions to try to win his division. Like he stepped his game up, right? Like Mike always been good at knowing how to build a team and things like that, but like he just couldn't put it together on the field. Like just couldn't get the game of Madden to translate to what he knew football wise. And we saw that transition this especially
And Mike
RDL.
offense take a step.
That's what I'm saying,
We
right?
we seen him. people won't believe this, but I mean, everybody ain't probably pay attention, but we seen him have one of the top tight ends in the league.
Yep.
Seen him have his years. We had a top running back out here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think one thing about Mike, just while we talking about him briefly, one thing specifically I got to point out. I think one good thing we got to point out about Mike is I remember specifically when he lost to that Giants on that last play on Ooh Baby.
On the Ooh
Giants
Baby.
talked
Remember that
about it,
shit?
did his thing. Yep, Giants talked about it, did his thing. And
Yeah.
Mike got a little upset to himself. But what he do? He came back and did it right back to him
And
the
did it
next
right
game
back.
and
Ooh
got him
Baby for
back
the
and
game winner.
said, "Got him."
That's what I'm saying. There's so many memories. There's so many memories that
Hey
you could take
man,
from this league.
right.
The broom game, bro. Like that was like one of our best rivals we had. Like
I was
the
like,
the
might be the
storyline
biggest,
changed a couple of
hottest.
times, right?
Sheesh.
Like the fact that they challenged each other, right? They challenged each other from 22 to 23. Fuck it, let's go at it then. We in the same
Saw the
division, and
Harry
that's
Potter memes.
right,
Saw the Chargers work on
man.
some of his game a little bit as well, like and add some new wrinkles to his game, and because it was that point, it was getting a little out of hand there for real. And
And he turned that
mean,
bitch
you got to
right back
talk about
around.
Craig, man.
Yeah, he turned that shit right back
He
around.
grabbed his nuts and came back to it and his thing. Like sheesh, that might have been the hottest rivalry. It had it. Look, we gave it his own name.
Yeah.
Broom games. That was a hell of a rivalry. I think that's one thing that'll definitely be remembered from.
And then you gotta think about it, 'cause, right? Like we ain't just start 23 and start playing real draft. We came out and did what we do again, which is Game of Thrones. We was in Game of Thrones 4, and like most guys that played in Game of Thrones 4 translated right to real draft, right? And from Game of Thrones 4 to real draft 7, the launch pad was introduced, right? Well, that shit was not in when we was playing Game of Thrones. It wasn't nobody wasn't doing that shit for real. Like it wasn't mastered like those guys that mastered it, right? Like
I think T the only person that was pretty
at
close
the
to
end,
doing
nah,
it
it was
over there.
it was Brandon and T was really like throwing them
Going back
shits.
and forth and third.
Now remember, Antonio was like the first to master the form throwing, period, right? Like not just the launch
Right.
pad, but like being able to put the ball in certain spots that was really, really tough. Like he really took his game to another level with that. But that launch pad shit was a headache, right? And that shit like literally took over the league. Like you literally had no answer for it, right? It was like, how do you answer that? To the point where, we huddled up and was like, fuck it. That shit ain't gonna be in 24. Like it came to the point where it's like, man, I just hope it ain't in 24, bro. Like, oh my God. Like, yeah, man. So it's so much. Like just think about like y'all take yourselves from the start of picking your teams to the first draft to where things went and how you played throughout the entire uh, duration of the league, right? Like, what's your storyline? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you could pull positive out of that story, then you did exactly what I'm hoping our leagues always do for you, which is, give you some type of enjoyment and really put yourself in a situation where, you know what I'm saying, you can grow from some things. Uh, so it was like a really fun league. It was very stressful at times, especially for a person like myself. I felt like I put a really good team and took this weak ass Texans team and put a really good squad together and just kept falling short, bro. Like, right, for
Yeah, I stayed.
one of the first leagues that I played in without winning one. That's big, bro. Like, and yet this was still one of my favorite leagues that I
Your
played in.
favorite one, son.
Yeah, because of the storyline in the team. I mean, the storyline with the Texans team was I created a great storyline with that Texans team that I'm still doing it. I'd reset it and did it again all over again. And, just to have it myself, right? Like I'm still playing 23, still redrafting the real draft players and same storyline with Coach Prime taking over the Houston Texans with Shador at quarterback and all the good stuff. Like, and I'm still enjoying myself just while we were waiting to get ready for 24 to start and all that. But it was so many storylines. Like I could take you to a quick one. Let's talk about the first draft and the fact that uh, Bryce Young AR-15. They go to Foe and Young Camden right away, right? Boom, and then they go crazy in that first year, and then like what comes behind that, right? Then the next wave of quarterbacks came out, right? Like the quarterback wave, I think we had like two back-to-back good quarterback waves, right? Then it was like a light
Not to mention
quarterback.
Will Levis.
Yeah, like those quarterbacks right now. When you watch a preseason football right now, all the quarterbacks that came out in our first draft, wherever they went at, what are they doing right now, right? How many of
Right.
them are actually stepping? How many of the unknowns that came out in our draft that really all only became backups that are actually playing really well in real life right now, right?
Lee Cunningham got cut today, but I tell you one other thing. While you on that, we also seen something was this kind of funny. We seen Todd quarterback, the Bucks quarterback. I got a
Malik
brain
Willis.
fart right now. Malik Willis. We seen Todd develop Malik Willis, and we seen him step in this preseason.
Hmm.
We seen him step his game up big time this preseason in real life. So I think that's another thing about real draft. It helps a lot of the players. You get to know who more players are actually in real life, real draft. And I think if anybody else in the league like me, it kind of I tend to go look into these players a little bit more and just see who some of them, whether they're on my team or other people's teams. And that I definitely look for a couple of guys this preseason.
I would just great say that, like, how many guys that got drafted in our real draft league that you actually looking to see. Like, think about your Jartavius Martin, bro. Like, every
RDL7.
preseason game I seen thus far, like
Man,
any highlights, this guy don't making plays, right? You got guys
hey,
that's
look,
making plays all over the
DTR.
league right now.
They
Exactly.
he's the Browns second string quarterback now. They
Right
traded
now.
Josh Dobbs over there.
And Hoodie had him right away. Remember that? Like, Hoodie had him for the New
Yeah.
England Patriots right away.
Max.
I mean, Sean Tucker made a big play. Uh,
Yeah, with the
uh,
Bucks.
Look at Todd Spears for the Titans right now, going crazy. It's the young running back Keaton that came out of East Carolina. That fast guy. Our Broncos user had drafted him. Circle Bob has drafted him. Actually, he's fucking
Who got
retarded
traded?
for the Ravens.
Maserati, or what's his name? The wide receiver. Maserati. Maserati. I just nicknamed Maserati. Some of the names. Evan. We've seen Evan Hall out there stepping. Evan Hall traded. I traded him to T on the Rams. He gonna fool around and be the starting running back with the Colts.
How about Trey Palmer shitting for the Bucks?
Yep. Gee, he
Tank
got a chance
Dell,
to come
Rob
right
had
in.
Rob had
Tank
Tank Dell.
Dell.
He's shitting for the Houston Texans. You got Will Anderson shitting. Shit, even Stroud look pretty solid right now. I like AR-15 Stroud. I like Bryce Young. They all look good. But how about O'Connell, the Raiders quarterback
Oh
right
yeah, the
now?
Raiders quarterback. He look like
Boy,
he might be the every draft in real life. You have a quarterback that comes out of nowhere, really that's unexpected, that just really steps up. You could say Brock Purdy was the one, Mr. Irrelevant for the 49ers a year before, but now you look at O'Connell and the Raiders, like Jimmy G might got this year or half a year out there.
right? He just
He
can't.
not
He
gonna play
just
that
can't.
contract out.
He can't buy him off situation at all, right? Like he can't. I know he like, man. Can I get a package? Jimmy
Get me,
Jimmy G need a package. Oh my
get
God, he
me.
over there terrible. That motherfucker can't get it right for shit. His new name is Jimmy Can't Get Right. Oh my
Hey, what
God.
about my boy? Hey, what about? I'm going back to college. What about your boy you drafted over there? Did anybody see that USC debut out there?
Ziggy. Oh my
Ziggy Branch
God. Ziggy. True
and
freshman went out
Khalid
there.
Williams.
Right out here trying to compare him to Reggie Bush right now off of
Oh
one
my
game.
gosh,
Jesus, that
true
motherfucker.
freshman.
Every as advertised, boy. That boy is as advertised for
And
real.
they
Like,
gonna have to outscore everybody.
man, yeah. I think their D gonna be a little bit better than what it was last year. But it's really, you can see it. It's the offensive coordinator. I mean, the defensive coordinator. He terrible. He don't get them boys in good situations at all right now. Damn, man, I mean, you can't look. You about to think about this though, right? You got Khalid Williams. You saw what he just did in that first game. He's amazing. He really probably got an opportunity to win back to back. Heisman's, right? But then you're looking at guys that we waiting to see this weekend play, right? College football really is here this weekend, and all like not only are we watching the 23 class, right? That we drafted in our first 23 class, those real draft guys, the guys y'all drafted, y'all gonna pay attention to those guys in the NFL. But college football actually starts this weekend as well, starting Thursday, really, Utah and Florida, right? You're gonna pay attention to all those guys, right? We got plenty of guys that y'all played with or y'all drafted and had on y'all football team that's still in college right now that you gonna probably follow just because you had them on your team and things of this such. So that's the fun of real draft, right? Like it never goes away because these guys will, and then not for nothing. Some of you guys might pick a team.
305.
Some of you guys might pick a team in 24 because of some of the players. Somebody had a player in real draft they went crazy with, and if he looked good enough for you to pick, right? They built him good enough for you to pick. You might go pick that player, right? Like now, shit. I remember him. You gonna think? I'm telling you, I saw that when Interstate 11 and what's the other receiver that's I used to play for the Jaguars. I had Interstate 11. This is back in like 18 going into 19. Remember that? And Falk had Chark, DJ Chark. And when we came in y'all league, remember when we came to y'all league, Snake? And they were like the two hottest commodity players from there, just from watching them in our league. They was like two hot players. We couldn't get them. I was trying to trade for Interstate. Nobody wanted to come up off him or Chalk, right? And there's always going to be players like that. Like when you go to the next disc, they're on the game now, and those players are going to be guys looking for. Like, all right, what about him? Like, where Will McDonald, right? Oh my God. And then he on the Jets right now. With man, I mean, this thing about to get serious again, right? Like Game of Thrones 5 is about to be serious. We got a lot of information we gotta get to tonight, right? Most of you guys are, anticipating ready to select the team and all that, but I got a lot of breakdown to do. Let's just know this, right? Like
Brian Branch. Okay. Yep.
there's always an order, right? There's always an order and there's always, a situation. But remember this: the main thing that keep our league chipping and always good is always balancing divisions out. Simple as that, like right. So keep that in mind when we do get into the actual team selection, right? A lot of you guys are anticipating and can't wait for it, and I'm either, right? But we still got to wait. That's going to happen, right? Because we're not starting the league until that updated patch come out right before the regular season and NFL start, so we can get the real roster updates and things of such, right? We don't want to start the league and then for what, right? When they gonna change the roster and all that shit.
This to give you guys a chance to know who you playing with, to fool around with your teams, and take some mental reps. But before we go too much farther, I just want to stop right quick. I see a lot of comments, to see a lot of people online, man. Just farm that like button, man. This that 23 wrap up. This part one. We definitely gonna get to the team selection, like the commissioner said, man. Just step on that like button.
Hit that bitch with the Heisman, for real.
We see
Hit that
some
bitch.
names, man. Let's see. I'm just gonna give Craig. We got Craig checking in. We got Bo.
17
We got
on here.
Hollywood Sean. We got Hollywood Sean back. I see Corey. I see Big Rob. I see
How about
Guns.
Coach Carter back, man? My boy Corey back, man. We got the original gang members back. Let's go, gang.
I see Ray Money. White Mike. I got Junior. I got Todd. I see Fo. I see Los. I got Max.
I see that.
McCoy.
I see the 305 boys in the building. There you go.
Redhead roster.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Corey Stanley, Seaham.
They go them 305 boys. Ain't a league without them, man. Shout out to McCoy. Shout out to Hoodie. Shout out to Seaham, man. Shout out to Bo.
The reason we doing this, man, just let everybody know the league is as good as its members, man, and we do appreciate the work that everybody put in this Madden, man. So it's like, even though some of y'all get on our nerves sometime, man, it's a competitive edge that everyone has, and we all respect that and we like that. We want everybody to keep that edge and keep that going into 24, man. So we gotta give some people some flowers this one, man. I just happy to be welcome back, Corey. All right. We just giving some love to everybody that's on the check-in. If in our conversations, y'all, I got my phone on, so I'll be able to see the comments. If we haven't while we conversating about some things, if we miss something or y'all want to get something in, either drop it in the comments. I'm paying attention to the comments tonight, so I can get everybody feedback on this part one of this shirt, this show, man. Go ahead, mama.
While we closing out RDL7, man. Type some of them guys' names in the chat, man. Guys y'all drafted, guys y'all think are Hall of Fame players that played on a Hall of Fame level throughout the entire RDL7 league, man. Give us some of
Whether
y'all
they
players,
on your
man.
team, if they on your team or you played against them, it don't like we don't like this. One thing that I really like, I like when other people talk about players. Like I don't want to give nobody my own nickname. You don't give yourself no own nickname, but when you play another team, men respect men out here. We all men in here. Like when I line up against somebody, like I line up against the Saints. That motherfucker Olave, man, he's a pain in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my mouth. Move out the way, boy. Olave, but man, look, if y'all play somebody, if you think they got a Hall of Fame jacket, whether they was on your team or on an opponent's team, man, drop it in there so we don't forget. We don't know everything. We can forget. We human. We can forget some things too. While we get into this show, this gonna be a good part one.
Guys had guys literally had receivers averaging 40 a catch. Oh my god.
Hey
Guys had
yo, is that
receivers
even
averaging
possible,
40 a
bro?
catch, bro. Like, who does that? 40 a catch, cuz. Oh my god.
Man,
They're out here
sheesh.
averaging 40 a catch. Alive, boy. Him and that boy Wilson running up under shit. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
We had battles though, man. We had some battles, man. Yeah, I mean, man, not for nothing. Just took Hoodie all the way up to the second to last season and even get a quarterback on an ability. Think about that, bro. That man was in the playoffs every year with it.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's another great point, man. You just really think about that. Hoodie was out here competing, and he didn't have a lot of the abilities that everybody else had. Like, I mean, you gotta give him. He got a
Look,
nice little scheme over there. He was getting some quality wins against quality opponents,
man,
against
listen,
top five,
that
top 10
man, that
opponents out
man,
here.
that man was only losing playoff games to the guys that had better ability players on their team. Like he lost to me because I had way more ability players than he had. Lost to whoever, like Max or Craig. He lost to us because of that. We just had abilities. And it really wasn't just abilities. It was the quarterback position. Like the fact that he was able to go to the divisional round or even win a playoff game and never had a quarterback on Superstar, bro. He never even had a quarterback on Superstar, let alone X Factor. All the way up until again the next to the last season, and once he had that X Factor quarterback, and we're going to see him, Arnold, that kid Arnold. He playing for Oklahoma now. He only a backup this year because he's a true freshman, but best believe it's going to take a lot for the guy in front of him to keep him off the field. It's guys, right? Like we watching Rayola in high school right now balling. He got transferred to Georgia and he out here going crazy with KJ Bolden right now. You know what I mean? Like
USC
it's a lot.
might got the best QB room, but I ain't gonna say nothing. We get that
Yeah.
later.
Oh my God. Mm-mm-mm.
Like, man, that's one thing I do appreciate real draft, man. I'm just it actually shed some light on some players that I might not have really known about as well. Because when you see players sitting in the league, you actually go check up on them, like, damn, who is this fool? Who is this guy? And man,
What I do know, not patting my own back. What I do know is this: the way I do real draft and how I bring awareness to all the college players and guys that are still in high school on their way to college or whatever the case may be, it it changes a lot of you guys. I'm not saying guys don't know who these players are, but like it changes y'all. It changes the way you even play Madden or even look to play Madden, right? Because you're gonna be looking for those players, right? Like especially the ones that are actually in the game now, right? The rookie class that's on the game now. You're gonna be looking for those players, right? Those players are always gonna be etched in your brain. They always gonna have a history from being in our real draft league, and like just think about it. If everything goes the way it's supposed to go, by the time we do real draft in 24, right, you're gonna be looking for college football is gonna be coming out, and you're not gonna better be in my real draft league without playing college football because I don't have to make the players on the game of Madden anymore. They're gonna come strictly from college already, so it's gonna be a connection there. Like we about to, if you think you have fun playing in my Madden leagues, watch what's great happen the moment NCAA drop, and watch, right? Even though I'm only gonna take 32 over there, right? Because you want to be able to bring those guys into Madden. You got to connect the two. So the one thing that might happen is Game of Thrones might go away, right? And it's probably going to have to go away. And real draft is going to be from start to beginning, right? So just think about this, Matt. And when NCAA drop this summer, that'll be the. So this is going to be the last Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones 5. So let's go to fuck crazy in Game of Thrones. Make your name, make a history for yourself in Game of Thrones. Like just think about it. This is the last installment of Game of Thrones. It's over with after that. Because once NCAA drop, we'll be playing NCAA and we'll be playing NCAA and real draft. So we'll be going right away because I don't have to wait for anything, right? Because I'll be making the players on college football. So I don't have to do anything. So real draft. So think about this. Real draft will last us from the time the Madden game come out to the time the next Madden game come out. Now think about that, right? So every summer we're going to get the next NCAA, and then a couple of months later we're going to get the next Madden. So now we're going to have one league in Madden, one league in college that's going to run the entire time. Now think about the history that we're going to have. That means we're going to get to like season 13, 14, shit like that. Like we be going to season 7 and 8 in Game of Thrones, then flip over to real draft and play another 7 seasons. So if you really think about it, we play about 14 to 15 strong seasons and man, now we're going to have to go one season of NCAA, one league, and then one league of Madden, right? And we're going to break it down with 32 members. We're going to break down, and with 32 members, we're going to break down conferences, right? Like it's going to be the SEC, the ACC. Like we're going to do something like that. Maybe guys, it might be a 10 of y'all that might want to be in the HBCU and develop your teams from HBCU, FCS football to FBS, right? It's going to be so much shit we going to better do. That's great. Turn us the fuck up. And believe me, I don't want to say too much because, I ain't going to be the only one, trying to move that way. But one thing, the work I'm going to put in and what we grade do. If you think you have fun in our leagues from the time y'all met me as a commissioner, I'm going back to my roots. I never played Madden until Madden 17. I was a college player. This is where y'all got real draft from. So watch what's about to happen in the summer of Madden 24. It's about to go the fuck down. So y'all need to appreciate this Game of Thrones league that we about to have because it's going to be the last Game of Thrones we have. It's over with after that. It's no more Game of Thrones. So Dancing with the Dragons is on and popping right now. So make your mark in this league, man. Make your mark right now. Now, again, when it comes down to team selection and things of the sort, remember, man, building great divisions matter, right? So it's going to be a breakdown, right? You're going to have the guys that paid the package to be able to pick their teams and then get a little bit of sauce that comes with that. They're going to pick first. Simple as that. And while you watching these guys picking their teams, just think about where they at because a lot of these guys are some of the top players, right? So as you see guys picking a team and going to division, and I'm talking about even the guys that, and I'll get to it, even the guys that did, that have the spots to better pick their teams first. Think about, what side you on, AFC, NFC, and who you want, who divisions you want to be in, because you want to balance division. Now you want at least 2 to 3, and the way we are now, how good we are, and the guys that we got back. Now we got a couple of new guys that are unknown. We don't know who they are, how they are. Just thank McCoy for giving us a couple of guys that he brought over, but we don't know what their talent level is, right? But let's welcome them.
That, man.
Let's
Shout out
welcome
to the
them.
new guys. Hey, man, new users. Y'all gonna see this kind of what we do with these real talks. We like for the users to get involved, man. Just say shout out, what's up to all the new guys in the league, man. Welcome y'all to the league, and man, glad to have y'all here. Hope y'all stick around, man. Don't get discouraged.
Now know this.
I'm gonna be for real. It ain't one person that's played in this league that I haven't seen get better since I done been in here. Like even the guys that's out here winning Super Bowls, and even to the guys that's not winning Super Bowls, there's not
Hold
one
me down.
person in the league that I haven't seen. Not one person in the league that I haven't seen get better. Another thing, I mean, so shout out to the new guys, and shout out to Circle Bob. He said he was watching, but he couldn't, he couldn't comment. So, yeah, like I say, I just hope some of you guys the new guys don't get discouraged, man. You know, I promise you, you'll get better.
You got teams to pick. They're gonna be raw dog. I don't want to hear nothing. They're gonna be raw dog, right? And then what Anthits do? He gonna shut that bitch down. And when that patch come up, the next time you look at your team, it won't be the team you saw. Just know that, right? But I learned. I always learn from mistakes and I learn from positives. So when you see it, I promise you, everybody's gonna come back. Once you start to join the league, you're gonna love it again, right? Because it's Game of Thrones. And I put in the chat that I wasn't doing certain shit, right? But because it's the last Game of Thrones, I gotta put the work in, right? Like I gotta put the work in, right? I gotta go hard. I gotta do the right things, man. Think about this: the last Game of Thrones draft classes we're gonna have, right? And it's not the same as real draft, right? Yeah, I edit all my draft classes, right? And that's what my Madden franchise junkie brand is known for. The draft classes. That's what all you guys come to this league for the most part, right? But they're not the same, right? Because real draft is very particular on how I do things. Game of Thrones, you guys are gonna better, change names and do the things y'all want, right? And we usually change our names to legends and things like the such, or
Oh
guys we
boy,
play ball with. No bullshit. I don't want to see no
oh
fuck ass
boy.
names and shit. You know Hollywood
Hey,
back, so
Hollywood
man, they
Sean.
get this shit. So none of the fuck shit. That's all I know. None of the fuck shit.
Wesley Pipe.
And the last thing I'm gonna say before we close out the real draft, because we're gonna get back to some of this real draft stuff. If your internet bad, you're not on the same side as me. I promise you, about to be mad as hell. If your internet bad, you will be exposed. You will be going to the other side. So whatever team I pick, make sure you on the other side, far away from me. Simple as that. Take your asses over there. Go that away. Right away.
That
No way.
away,
Don't
that
come
away,
nowhere
that
near me
away.
whatsoever. Now, with that being said, let's talk. I mean, I'm looking for comments, man. I'm looking for guys to give me some of their. Come on, man. Like real draft 7, man. Let's talk about this before we get into the get tos for real. Like I haven't seen a name pop
I
up
ain't
yet,
seen a
man.
name
What
pop up out there, man.
y'all played with
Uh,
some dogs? Who y'all drafted that? All right,
I
I'll
played
do it for
against
you.
some dogs, man.
Let's talk about Bryce Young's career. How about we start there? Let's talk about what Bryce Young, being drafted to the Miami Dolphins by young Camden, and the season he had in his first season, right? Like that crazy ass season that boy had, and how fast he was.
Man.
Like the moment he drafted him, he was trying to trade him. How about this? That man didn't make the playoffs the moment he got rid of him.
Oof.
Is that a fact?
um, definitely seen a little downward spiral. We've definitely seen him take 2 steps back.
I mean, he
Um,
came out and he came out. He only played for Miami for 2 years. This guy was the hold on, let's go. He was the number fifth pick in the
11,
draft, number fourth pick in the draft
was it?
in 2023. He got picked
Four,
number
yeah, number
four.
4 pick. Two Pro
Two Pro
Bowl
Bowl
appearances,
appearances and the
MVP,
2024 most
most
valuable
valuable
player.
player. Wow. Mm-mm-mm.
Then got traded.
Dirty
Then got
Birds.
traded to the Dirty Birds with one of the trade steals of the
Oh,
fucking league.
then got benched for Mahomes.
Then got benched for Mahomes. Ain't that some shit? Oh my god. But look at these numbers, man.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, his
know, man.
MVP season, he had 93 touchdowns, 34 INTs, right? Like, I mean, Jesus, right? He was the best quarterback in the league as soon as he came out the league. Remember, he was our first drafted
Man,
X Factor.
X Factor, yeah.
And he was like that. I mean, he was like second to Mahomes in the way Mahomes made everybody else play better because he was just light years ahead of everybody just because of that X factor. And then young Camden did a hell of a job with him over the first 2 seasons. And
Hey,
for whatever
Camden, I got a
reason,
question while we talking about him. If you had the chance to do it again, would you have traded Bryce Young? Do you think that was a mistake? If you tuned in, man, just drop it in the comment section.
yeah, bro,
Cause
I
like
think
he
I
passed
think
for damn near
I
eight
think he
thousand yards
I don't
almost,
think he I
93,
don't think he does I
34.
don't think he
Holy
makes that
cow.
same mistake. I definitely don't think he makes that same mistake at all, right? How
Dude,
about, you go to something like the Trey Palmers of the league? How about what Foe did with X Man, we called him, right?
Andy ISO and
Andy
X-Man.
Ice on X Man. Like, how about what how
Beast.
about what Craig did with Sadie or Trey or the tight end? How about what you did with Sean Tucker, man? Man, I mean, Mike's tight end
Quarterbacks.
was one
Yeah.
of the
Michael
best tight ends in the
Meyer.
league, bro. How about what Falk did
Yeah.
with the quarterback that's going to supposedly challenge Khalid Williams this year for the Heisman, right?
Drake May.
Drake May. I mean,
You had some tight ends while we
eh,
just on offense. You had a couple of tight ends over there as
All
well.
actors' names back.
All actors' names back.
there
Oh
he
man.
go, man. Drake
Hey, look,
May,
they gonna be. Hey, injuries gonna be on, Sean. So they gonna be back on IR. Brock Bowers down there at D Dub. She.
man. I mean, look at these numbers from Drake May every year: 7,000, 7,000. I mean, this man won an MVP with 9,000. He almost threw for
Hero.
10,000 yards in the season, but 113 touchdowns to 23 picks, bro. Like, there ain't a lot of picks at all, right? How about Craig with his quarterback Herbert, like always 70 plus completion percentage and barely throw 20 INTs a year, bro? Like, I mean, these guys was balling out with their quarterbacks, bro. Like, I mean,
Mahomes.
when Max had
Mahomes.
Mahomes, it was ignorant. Like, it was disgusting. It was like annoying. It was like, damn. Like Max had Mahomes. Mahomes was so good with a user like Max that he didn't even have a superstar receiver, and they played like they were superstars. Like, he put throws on the field that
Definitely.
just was like, oh my god,
And they held on to the ball.
right, bro. It's like this man threw people open. If they wasn't open, he still got the completion. I mean, one time, I remember Craig told me like, yo, one time he even threw the ball away. Like, not Max not meaning to throw it away, but Mahomes put the ball in a spot where only his guy catching it or nobody catching it. Like that type of shit. Like, I remember Falk was like,
Athletes
bro,
team logo.
it's Mahomes, bro. This guy make catches that I can't that I don't like. I'm covering these guys. They not even his receivers ain't even that good, and yet they still just keep, bro. Man, listen, he had Bryce Wheaton Ford fucking go crazy on fucking from normal. And Mahomes in year two was throwing in the ball like he was motherfucking the X Factor, bro. Like, I mean, it's so many storylines that we could talk about, in that league, bro. Like, I mean, like, think about Bo.
Prime
How you gonna have
time
Minka
player.
Fitzpatrick prime? Oh my God, all the prime time players. Bo had Minka Fitzpatrick
Minka
every year
Fitzpatrick.
in the fucking awards race, damn near the number one DB in every year. How about
How
I
about
got one for
for
you?
H boys
Oh
in
yeah, that boy
development
coming
in
up.
the sim season?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do now when the
What's
motherfucking double or nothing and
need me?
edge threat don't fucking
Need
need
me?
me at the quarter? That shit ain't working like it used to. So what y'all gonna do now? How you
Tucker
gonna generate
slash
pressure?
TJ.
You know who gonna be crazy in 24?
H and H.
Because he gonna be able to send that shit. He know how to create them blitzes. I think he gonna be because you just
This
can't
is
line up with a
undefeated.
guy on double O and edge threat and just beat the guy in front of you. as much as you could have. Like it was points where guys couldn't even throw. Like if you didn't have a superstar at left tackle or right, and the guy on the defensive end was that guy, it was over with. Like Craig dominated year one with Joey Bosa, bro. Like Joey
Bosa.
Bosa didn't even let you throw the ball.
Tell you something. How about the step? How about we talked about Mike a little bit. How about the step we seen Harold take?
Yeah, yeah.
Before he
Not,
traded Harrison, I
but not.
mean
I was
he
going to go there too. Not only did he take a step in his play, the fact
right.
YouTube.com/Anthits.
that the trade. Remember, he got better at
His
making trades and
trades,
shit. Like,
making a little bit of play. He took some all the way all around steps. I mean, even some performers. Um, like I mean, we definitely seen Harrison up there. It was somebody else he had over there that we seen a little bit too. Um, but just his overall play as well, and building his team, not doing the stupid trade. Sometimes saying no to a trade is the right thing to do.
yep.
We seen Los, we seen the Cardinals. Once he finally got off vacation, the
And that
first
nigga
couple of
was a pain.
seasons,
Yo, he was a pain in the ass the first like 3 or 4 seasons. Remember that shit? But then look,
bruh, like
but then
no,
by the by like season like six,
one
season six,
blockbuster.
yeah, it was on. It was on the pop
We
and start
started
making
seeing
the
him even
trades.
award,
But you know what that tell you?
winning some games,
But that tell you don't be afraid to make trades. Everybody not great at team building, bro. Trade,
bruh. As soon as
trade.
he made that big heavy blockbuster trade, we seen him with players in the awards race every year, offense
Couple
and
Rams
defense.
during tea
Period.
time Rela played half careers.
Same thing with Harold. The moment he started, he made them big trades with the Vikings and all that shit. You saw him He started winning ball games. Like shit started to change a little bit. So it's like float your boat. And the system now, like 24 system and the trade shit is way better and all that stuff. So
Oh
we got some
man,
stuff we can get to, man. This is about to be very interesting. And remember, fellas, I'm gonna keep
big
saying
trade
this
of
to y'all.
Bijan Robinson, the resurgence of Bijan Robinson going to the 49ers, leaving the Eagles.
But like even with Rob, bro, how many times like we just thought he was dead to water and just come right back. Next thing you know, he in the playoffs. Boop.
He'll do a little something. I don't want to say to reinvent himself, but to maybe give his team a shot of adrenaline.
Nah, what
And
he
then
did was he kept shutting us the fuck up. Bottom line, this is what he kept doing. Shut up, y'all keep talking shit like I'm ass. This ain't going right. And then next thing you know, he right back at it. Now, can you blame some of that on Hitter?
yeah,
Definitely blame it on Hitter too, right? Keep vacationing and shit, but like. Oh, it ain't his fault. That's like saying, yo, bro, like, you
hey.
know what I'm saying? It ain't his fault. Man, listen, that
And what
man made
Rob
the
say, I don't care. I'm gonna win my division. Period. I
bro. It
don't
got to the
care.
point. It got to the point where you know what I'm saying. He
Niggas
knew
being
it. He just
disrespectful out
knew
there.
whatever.
Niggas being
Just
disrespectful out
whatever.
there.
Oh well, and put it together, man. You know what I mean? And listen, man. When it comes down to playing a video game, you gotta know how to play the video game, but you also gotta have some type of football smarts. And your schemes are everything, man. Right? And the guys that dominated had schemes that they just master, bro. Like when you just master what you do, you're hard to stop. And I'm gonna tell y'all one of the most underrated schemes we had, and it made me kind of transform into that. But see how with the RPO game, bro, he kind of mastered that shit when he came back and got the Raiders, bro. That shit was annoying as fuck, and was working for him. He had a strong run game with a fucking he look the man traded for a superstar running back, never played him, played the star guy the whole time and was 120-yard, 30-yard games every time with him. And that RPO system he had was very annoying. And you're probably going to see it again in 24 because it's a good system and it's going to work, right? Like from what I saw so far, those type of things still work. So I just can't wait to see, guys taking the next step, right? And going out, man. It's Game of Thrones, man. We welcoming Corey back, right? We welcome my boy Coach Carter back, man. We missed you. Let's get it. Let's get to it right now, man. And then we got two unknowns. We really got three, right? Because even Brandon and Antonio's boy that took the Seahawks. Like he really great. Get a full start from the fresh start with us, right, Kemp? he ready to start from the scratch with it, and we all thought he was a solid player too. Like we got some things that's gonna happen, man. Let's get to it, man. Let's really get to it though. But before we get to it, you got to close out this RDL7, man. So we want to shout out to Max. He won the most Super Bowls in 23 in RDL, right? He won the most Super Bowls. Him and Craig battled that thing out from start to finish.
Uh,
Uh, so that was a good battle with them two being in the same division. That was a hell of a battle that we got to see. Um, and how Falk stepped up at that right where it got pressure on him, where it's like, damn, you ain't about to go hold this without winning a bowl. That motherfucker went hard. He said, nah, hell no, I ain't going out like that. And got him one with Drake May at the quarterback that he got in the second round. Drake May ain't even go in the first round of that second draft, that 24 draft class. He ain't even go in the first round. He went in the second round, which was a steal. And motherfucking right before he had to give him a contract, won one with him. Simple as that. So, what are you guys
and
gonna
we
do?
seen Falk develop 3 X Factor quarterbacks, right?
Yep,
Some people
yep.
couldn't even develop one. Mm-mm-mm.
Think about the storyline that season because Falk was trying to come get KJ Jefferson. And Rob took him. Remember that shit? Rob snatched KJ on his ass, and then he came back and got Drake May. And I kept saying that, like, y'all keep going after y'all just missing on Drake May, like he ain't that guy. And boom, Falk said that was one of the best quarterbacks he ever played with. Like, it's players that you played with that like was, you know what I mean? That was the guys right now. And again, you guys gonna get to see these guys whether they're still in college right now or they're in the NFL on their rookie years right now. You're gonna get to see all these guys, right? So what we're gonna do is to close out this, I'm gonna do a part 2 of this segment and a part 3. And in those 2 parts, we're gonna break down. We're gonna give our list of. We're gonna put this together. We're gonna strategically put this together where we're not just freestyling. The next time we come back and still talk about 23 before 24 start, we're going to start going through the players of who we think are Hall of Fame, RDL7 Hall of Fame guys, and things of the such. We're going to talk about their stats and what they did while we feel as
Hall
though
of
that they're
Fame
Hall of
slash
Fame
all
guys.
RDL.
Yeah, or all RDL guys and things like that. So we'll
I
show,
ain't gonna touch the offensive
records.
lineman too much, but we'll go into anybody that stands out that we can think of and we check out. The offensive
Team
lineman is
selection.
tricky, so I don't think we'll waste too much time on that. We'll go through the rest of the key positions for the most part.
All
Right?
right, so fellas, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to be posting, and you won't see a 23 league anything though. I'll be on 24. We're going to be posting, and then we're going to get into how team selections going and all that stuff tonight. So a lot of you guys are watching right now, man. Just go whatever, go smoke some bud, whatever you gotta do. Go do what you do for 10 minutes, and then get ready to join us back. We're going to post in the chat again, and we'll be talking about 24, and we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones 5 and team selection, the order and all that stuff going to come out. So we'll be back in 10. Appreciate y'all, man. But let's, you know what I mean? Shout out to RDL7, man. I swear, one of my favorite leagues I ever played in. Simple as that. We're gone.
Stay
Part 2.
tuned. Right back.